What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 16. Top DFS picks.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for this week's NFL slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, NFL Week 16, let's take a look at the quarterback position. My top DFS pick at the quarterback position is Justin Herbert from the LA Chargers playing the Denver Broncos, who have the 10th worst defense overall, and they give up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Justin Herbert has averaged 24.2 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 3.5 rush attempts per game. He scored 31 fantasy points last week. He had 4 rush attempts, and he's projected at 20.7 fantasy points here in Week 16. He's 7,400 DraftKings salary and 800 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 48.5 points scored in this game, with the LA Chargers favored by 3.5. So we got a great matchup here in a relatively close competitive game. Only a 3.5 point spread versus the Denver Broncos. So I like Justin Herbert here versus the Denver Broncos. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. My top DFS pick at the running back position is Miles Sanders from the Philadelphia Eagles playing the Dallas Cowboys, who have the 4th worst defense overall, and they give up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Miles Sanders has averaged 14.6 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 13.6 rush attempts per game and 4.2 pass targets per game. He got 17 rush attempts and 2 pass targets last game. He only scored 10 fantasy points, but he put up 33 fantasy points the game before that. So now he's getting close to 20 touches a game. He's an explosive player with the ball in his hands. He's projected at 14.4 fantasy points here in Week 16, and he's 7,000 DraftKings salary and 300 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 49.5 points scored in this game, with the Eagles favored by 2. So excellent matchup, pretty high scoring game, and a close competitive game. So I like Miles Sanders here versus the Dallas Cowboys. Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL. NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, who do we have at the wide receiver position? My top DFS pick at the wide receiver position is Allen Robinson from the Chicago Bears playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have the absolute worst defense overall, and they give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Allen Robinson has averaged 17.6 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 9.5 pass targets per game. He's projected at 17.2 fantasy points here in Week 16, and he's 7,700 DraftKings salary and 200 less on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 46.5 points scored in this game, and they have the Chicago Bears favored by 7.5. So fantastic matchup. He gets a ton of passing volume, Although he only got 5 pass targets last week, he scored 12 fantasy points, but he got 13 pass targets the game before that and put up 30 fantasy points. So he's a volume monster. I expect that volume to return to normal here in week 16. So I like Allen Robinson here versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. My top DFS pick at the tight end position is Logan Thomas from the Washington football team playing the Carolina Panthers, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 11th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Logan Thomas has averaged 11 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 6.5 pass targets per game. Take a look at his last 3 games. He scored 26, 10, and 25 fantasy points off of 15, 7, and 9 pass targets. So excellent passing volume, excellent production, 15 pass targets last game for 26 fantasy points. This guy's been on fire. He's projected at 9.7 fantasy points here in week 16, and he's still only $4,900 DraftKings salary and $1,100 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 44.5 points scored in this game, and they have the Washington football team favored by 2.5. So pretty good matchup here. Close, competitive game, and a guy that's on fire. So I like Logan Thomas here versus the Carolina Panthers.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.